Have you ever experienced the pain of betrayal? The kind that shakes your faith not just in another person, but in the very essence of relationships themselves? Betrayal is more than just an action. It is a fracture, a wound that changes the way we trust, the way we see the world, and even the way we value ourselves. Stoic philosophy teaches us to master our emotions, to cultivate inner peace, and to accept life as it is, not as we wish it to be. However, some betrayals run so deep, so corrosive, that they require more than mere acceptance. These are not simple mistakes or lapses in judgment, but deliberate violations, acts that disregard trust, loyalty, and dignity. Forgiveness is often praised as a virtue, but the Stoics remind us that true wisdom lies in discernment. Not all betrayals deserve our grace. Some demand distance, not out of hatred, but out of self-respect. There are wounds best left untouched and bridges best left burned. Today, we will explore 3 forms of betrayal in relationships that should never be forgiven, not to dwell in resentment, but to safeguard our well-being. If you seek to strengthen your resilience, protect your peace, and never be caught off guard again, this lesson is essential. Stay with us, and as you listen, take a moment to engage, like, comment, and subscribe to the Stoic Sage. Your journey to unshakable emotional strength begins now. The ultimate breach of trust. Loyalty is the unspoken thread that binds relationships together. It is not merely a virtue, but a foundation upon which trust, love, and respect are built. When loyalty is broken, it is not just a moment of disappointment. It is a revelation that the bond you once cherished was never as strong as you believed. Disloyalty is not just an action. It is a choice to deceive, to abandon, or to prioritize oneself over commitment. And once that choice is made, everything changes. Disloyalty manifests in many ways. It may be a friend who speaks ill of you in your absence, turning your trust into gossip. It may be a partner who seeks comfort in another's embrace while still whispering words of love. It may even come from family, those bound to you by blood, who, when given a chance, choose self-interest over integrity. The circumstances may differ, but the core remains the same. A betrayal of trust so deep that it cannot be undone. The Stoics understood that while we cannot control others' actions, we have complete control over our response. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." This is not a call to endure betrayal with blind forgiveness, nor is it an invitation to bitterness. Instead, it is a call to clarity, to see people as they truly are rather than how we wish them to be. When someone betrays you, the lesson is not a fight for their loyalty, but to recognize that they were never truly loyal in the first place. Imagine constructing a house and discovering that one of its main pillars is cracked, unstable, and incapable of supporting its weight. Would you continue building, hoping it strengthens over time? Or would you accept the reality that it must be replaced before the entire structure collapses? Relationships built on fractured trust are no different. No matter the history you share or the hope you hold, a compromised foundation cannot sustain itself. Disloyalty is rarely a one-time event. It is often a pattern, a reflection of character. Some will return with apologies, claiming their betrayal was a mistake. They may plead for forgiveness, blame circumstances, or even suggest that your reaction is exaggerated. But the truth is simple. A betrayal repeated is not a mistake. It is a decision. When someone has demonstrated a lack of loyalty, believing they will change is self-deception. Forgiving too easily signals that there are no real consequences for their actions, leaving the door open for future betrayals. Consider a warrior on the battlefield who depends on his comrades for protection. In the heat of battle, when his life depends on them, one of them flees, leaving him vulnerable. Would that warrior trust him again? Should he? The answer is clear. Disloyalty is abandonment, a failure to stand by someone when it matters most. Just as a soldier would not fight alongside someone who has already deserted him once, you should not continue trusting those who have proven unreliable. Seneca once advised, associate with those who will make a better man of you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve. The people in your life should uplift you, act with integrity, and remain steadfast even in difficult moments. Loyalty is not measured by words spoken in your presence, but by actions taken in your absence. A truly loyal person does not shift their allegiance when it is convenient. They remain steadfast even when it is difficult. Many believe that forgiveness is the highest virtue, that to let go of resentment is to be truly strong. While there is wisdom in not allowing bitterness to consume you, there is also wisdom in self-protection. Forgiving disloyalty blindly is not strength. It is self-betrayal. Each time you tolerate disloyalty, you send a silent message to yourself about what you are willing to accept. Choose wisely, not out of anger, but out of self-respect. If you found value in this lesson, take a moment to engage. Share your thoughts and comments. Subscribe for more insights, and continue your journey toward emotional resilience with Stoic Mindset Mastery. When you compromise your standards, you signal to others that your worth is negotiable. This not only weakens your relationships, but also erodes your self-respect. Consider what it says about you if you continue to allow disloyal people into your life. Are you prioritizing peace, or are you merely avoiding confrontation? Are you willing to endure betrayal rather than enforce boundaries? The reality is clear. When you keep people who do not respect you, you are ultimately disrespecting yourself. Strength is not in holding on, but in letting go, swiftly, decisively, and without the need for justification. The Stoics remind us that true peace is far more valuable than false companionship. It is better to walk alone with integrity than to surround yourself with those who have already abandoned you in spirit. When faced with disloyalty, the question is not whether to forgive, but whether keeping that person in your life aligns with your self-respect. The most powerful response is not revenge or demanding explanations. It is a quiet, unwavering choice to move on. A wise person does not waste time persuading a snake not to bite. They simply step away. As you reflect on your relationships, ask yourself, who has proven their loyalty, who has shown otherwise, and who, from this moment forward, no longer deserves a place in your circle. Move forward with wisdom, not bitterness. Let go, but never forget, the poison that destroys trust. Deception is more than just a lie. It is a deliberate distortion of reality, a betrayal that erodes the foundation of trust. A single lie may seem small, but deception is rarely an isolated act. It is a habit, a reflection of character. To lie is to manipulate, to control another's perception for personal gain. When someone deceives you, they are not just withholding the truth. They are making a choice placing their interest above honesty, respect, and the integrity of the relationship. A bond buoy ******* LT on deception is like a house on sand. It may appear strong, but will inevitably collapse. Seneca once said, "A dishonest man spreads falsehoods, first to others, then to himself." Those who lie become entangled in their own web of deceit, losing sight of reality. But just because they face the consequences of their dishonesty does not mean you must suffer alongside them. Stoicism offers clarity. Recognize deception for what it is and respond accordingly. Lies come in many forms: outright falsehoods, omissions, half-truths, all meant to distort reality. A partner who betrays your trust yet conceals it. A friend who distorts the truth for self-interest. A colleague who manipulates facts to escape accountability. Each of these actions sends a clear message. Your trust is expendable to them. Once that line is crossed, the relationship is changed forever. Some may argue that everyone lies and that small deceptions are harmless. But Stoicism rejects moral compromise. A lie is not insignificant when it forces you to question someone's integrity. Deception is not just dishonesty. It is control, an attempt to shape reality while denying others the ability to make informed choices. Imagine a compass that has been tampered with, its directions unreliable. Would you continue using it, knowing it could lead you astray? Or would you discard it, understanding that no journey is worth taking with an untrustworthy guide? This is a reality of deception. It turns those closest to you into unreliable navigators, making every word and action suspect. Some deceive not just to cover their mistakes, but to manipulate, evade responsibility, or gain an advantage. They do not see honesty as a virtue, but as a tool, used when convenient, discarded when necessary. Yet, as Epictetus wisely said, it is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. Those who deceive are not interested in growth or integrity. They exist in a world of illusions, believing they are in control, while their lies slowly erode everything they have built. Consider the story of a merchant who gains wealth through deception. For a time, His lies serve him well. His business flourishes. His reputation remains intact. But deception, like a slow-acting poison, eventually reveals its consequences. Partners withdraw, customers lose trust, and his empire crumbles. Not due to a single act of dishonesty, but because deception, once exposed, can never be undone. The Stoic response to deception is not rage, nor is it an endless pursuit of truth from those who refuse to be honest. A Stoic does not waste time trying to extract integrity from a liar, nor do they engage in futile battles to uncover every falsehood. The truth, once distorted, can never be fully restored. Instead, recognize deception for what it is and act with certainty. Protect your peace, uphold your values, and remove deceitful influences from your life. Not with anger, but with resolve. In the end, trust is the foundation of every meaningful connection. Choose to surround yourself with those who honor it. Detachment and trust, a path to inner peace. When faced with deception, the healthiest response is not anger or resentment, but clarity and detachment. Accepting that dishonesty has occurred allows you to see things as they are, not as you wish them to be. When someone deceives you, they reveal their values and priorities. Instead of holding on to false hope, recognize this as an opportunity to make a choice that serves your well-being. Forgiveness is often seen as an act of strength, but forgiving repeated deceit without accountability can invite more of the same. People who lie without consequence often continue to do so, and those who manipulate will persist if met with tolerance. The most respectful thing you can do for yourself is to create distance from those who do not value honesty. Trust is a foundation, and a relationship without it is unstable. Imagine standing before a bridge that leads to where you want to go. At first glance, it seems sturdy, but as you step closer, you notice its foundations are weak and rotting. Would you risk crossing it, knowing it could collapse at any moment? A relationship built on broken trust is much the same. You may convince yourself it can be repaired, but if deception has already eroded its core, the risk remains. Letting go of those who have repeatedly broken your trust is not about punishment. It is about self-preservation. Protecting your peace means ensuring that your relationships are built on honesty and reliability. A Stoic approach does not seek revenge, nor does it cling to unrealistic expectations. Instead, it acknowledges reality and moves forward with wisdom. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "When someone has done you wrong, do not dwell on what they have done, but on what you can do in response." The question is not whether you should forgive, but whether you can trust again. If someone has chosen dishonesty once, what prevents them from doing so again? If the answer is nothing, then the decision is clear. Release them from your life and walk forward without looking back. The reality of broken trust. Trust is not just about honesty. It is about reliability, consistency, and integrity. When you trust someone, you make yourself vulnerable, sharing parts of yourself that few others see. This is a gift, one that should be given thoughtfully. Once trust is broken, it is rarely restored to its original state. Many believe that with time and effort, trust can be fully repaired. But trust, like glass, may never be the same once fractured. You can try to move forward, but doubt will always linger. If you have ever confided in someone who later betrayed that confidence, you know the hesitation that follows. Even after apologies are exchanged, the question remains, can you truly trust them again? Seneca reminds us, he who spares the guilty punishes the innocent. Extending trust to someone who has already broken it is not just a risk, it is a burden. It forces you to carry the weight of uncertainty, questioning every word and action. True peace comes from releasing this weight, not from forcing a broken bond to mend. This is not about anger, but about wisdom. A Stoic does not waste energy trying to fix what is irreparably broken. Instead, they accept reality and choose what serves their peace. If someone is shown they cannot be trusted, there is no need for confrontation, only the quiet decision to step away, moving forward with strength. Letting go does not mean holding on to bitterness. It means valuing yourself enough to step away from relationships that no longer serve you. Not everyone who asks for a second chance has truly changed, and not every betrayal is one you should endure twice. Think of trust as a delicate vase. Once shattered, it may be pieced back together, but the cracks remain. You will always handle it with caution, knowing it is more fragile than before. The same is true for relationships. Once trust is broken, doubt lingers, and that is no way to live. Stoicism does not encourage hatred, nor does it demand endless patience for those who have wronged us. Instead, it teaches us to protect our inner peace and self-worth. The strongest response to betrayal is not anger or revenge, but quiet detachment. The decision to move forward without carrying the past with you. In the end, trust should be given to those who honor it. If someone truly valued you, their actions would reflect it. The greatest act of self-respect is knowing when to walk away, not out of spite, but out of a deep understanding that your peace is worth more than a relationship built on uncertainty.